Hello guys and welcome to another video. Sorry for the clickbait title, but our Red Dead Redemption clone has just gotten a lot better. As you can see over here, we have a new horse. The other one gave us some glitches. This one is kind of low poly, but at least it gives more and better look with nice animations. We also can see that we have now the day and night effect in the game, where it slowly becomes dark and even night. And you can see with the ground fog that looks really nice. There is also now the map. There is a mini map on the screen and you can enlarge it to see where you are. Also on the water you can now see better and you can see the caustics under the water. There is a new village called Raspberry that you can see over here. It's got a bank, and we've also added dynamite that you can throw at enemies and you can see them flying through the sky. But beware, you can always also throw it on yourself, but you won't die from that. Some buildings now have interior, so you can walk inside the building, as you can see over here. And over here you see a mission, one of the two playable missions that you can play. And we've added some points of interest, like this burning house. There is also now a slow motion effect when you shoot a bullet at a player. It shows up just randomly sometimes instead of the normal animation. And we've also added Easter egg like that shark that you saw over there in the oasis. We've even recreated a bug that we found in Red Dead Redemption. You can see over here, if you shoot at a tent, you will find yourself flying through the sky. And in our game you can now do exactly that. So I will tell you something about the things that I made, how you can do that. But first let Mark play the game without any instruction, and let's see if he figures out the gameplay and especially how to finish the missions. Okay, he already found out how to use the map. The hint of which key that is also very helpful, I guess. He is looking at the map again. He will now enter the building that previously he couldn't enter. He also found out about the new dynamite, and I guess he's willing to figure out how it works.
Whoa. Hey,
Somebody's shooting at him, but he can't see who it is. And now we can see that in the dark mode, in the night, it's really hard to spot where the enemies are, and it's maybe better to keep the dark period as short as possible, because it's just a little bit less playable in darkness.
пошли. Да. А как ты придумал название на город Сент-Дач? А Джон Плейс. О, тут есть. Как ты придумал Джон Плейс? О, кстати, Ватер очень красиво.
He really likes the water effects, the caustics. It was actually already there in the first version of the game, but because the water was not transparent enough, it was not really
Почему у меня
visible.
всегда есть динамит? О, бисквит.
I guess we still have one small bug in the game. He switched the dynamite for the pistol, but the dynamite is still showing in his hands. So that's one thing I need to fix, but it's probably really a small thing.
Вот. Только сделай так, чтобы здесь был большой день и не очень большой ночь, а то тут все. А то я не очень люблю ночные игры. Оу.
He also explains that he doesn't like the night part of the
Как ты
game.
продумал Джон Плейс? Джон Марстон?
He's still trying to find his way on the map.
А кто такой О Бисквит? А знаешь, как сейчас... интересно, как будет Пинкертон?
I put in the O'Biscuits. It's kind of the same like the O'Driscolls in the Red Dead Redemption game. So he also
Надо стрелять на все.
suggests to have the Pinkertons in there. So I tried to think of a variant of that. Here we see another bug. The horse runs off. I really didn't plan that it should happen, but it's probably something really small that we can fix easily. I hope he is able to find all the enemies so he can finish the mission. Sometimes it's hard to spot the last one. This animation kind of got stuck or something.
Силвер!
He finished the mission and he received a silver medal. You can get bronze, silver or gold. So I figured this amount of time that he spent to finish the game is just about right, because it just depends on how fast you finish this mission, what kind of medal you get. Yeah, I know that guy is still there. It shouldn't be there. It's also a small bug. We'll have a look at it later. Another thing, that now he finished the mission,
Где моя лошадь?
we can still see the last destination of the mission. He picked up a medkit to restore his health.
А может где-то...
They
это
are
был
spread
напротив?
over the area on some spots, fixed positions.
А, да, точно.
So unfortunately now on the map he can't see the where the next mission will be, but I've instructed him where it will be, and it's over here. So now on to the next mission, where he needs to steal a safe from a bank, deliver that safe to a saloon on the hill.
А кстати, а тут будет десерт, пустыня?
Да, и там есть даже один easter egg.
А где пустыня?
Oasis.
Ладно, я потом посмотрю.
Два easter egg.
Вот Сен-Дени. Ну, самый большой город на этот игры. О, только у меня нет
Unfortunately, now that the horse has run off, he hasn't got a means of transportation, so it will take a bit longer to.
Что?
The slow motion effect with the bullet and the different camera angle is not always working out perfectly, as you saw there.
А там уже нету. Лучше сделать спавнер лошадь.
He suggests that we should be able to spawn a new horse somewhere on the map as soon as the one gets lost. But it's also important to just fix that bug that the horse runs off if you jump off it. He's now on his way to Raspberry to the bank, and I'm anxious to see if he will discover how to get inside the bank, because the front door is closed. You need to enter on the back.
Наверное, это.
Wow, he found that out really fast.
А как у меня есть такой большой сейф, я могу...
He's a little bit surprised that he can carry such a big safe. In reality, yeah, that would be a little bit stupid, but that's what games are for. And I think it's really funny that you can just walk around with that very heavy safe. You can see here's some fog that I used to show the interior has some lighting, but at the moment it doesn't really work in the runtime game. I don't know why. It works when you play it from the editor, but when you've compiled the game, that lighting has gone. It's very dark inside this building at the moment. He has handed over the safe to that guy, and he now needs to put a dynamite on that safe to open it. I guess that dynamite just missed its target. That looks better. There you go.
Миссия готова.
That was the finishing of the second mission, so he was able to finish the missions without any instructions, which is really cool. This time he received the bronze medal, but I'm sure he can do it a little bit faster and receive a silver or gold medal. And otherwise I will change the timings a little bit. There are also some rocks that don't have colliders yet, so you can run through them. I think that's something that also needs to be fixed. He expects some ragdoll effect to be in place when you just jump off a mountain, like you roll over or something, but that's just not the case in the game yet.
Shark?
That shark is just swimming in circles, but you can't really destroy it or anything now. It's just as a funny effect to have that shark in the oasis. I now help him a little bit to find the second Easter egg. That's the tent.
А что будет, если я буду умер? Где я буду? Raspberry Sandwich.
Here's the tent with the same bug as in the real Red Dead Redemption 2.
Это Easter egg? Динамит? Что? Как это сделать? Стрелять? Окей.
Here's another small bug when you just press the right mouse button, which normally zooms in. It still uses the original camera, and then you see the place on the ground, what is the real physical position of the player still.
Но, кстати, если я буду делать вот так, и я иду туда, и если я буду летать, то смотри, я могу смотреть так.
Here you can see that again. If you press the right mouse button, you will use the other camera. It's just an easy fix. We should give the ragdoll camera priority over the zoom in camera, then that effect will be gone. Okay, that's it for the game that Mark played. Now I'll show you some of the things I did to improve the game. First of all, the creation of a map. You can create a map by putting a camera very high in the sky and just looking at the play field. That way the map is always live, and all the moving parts on the map will move along with the map. But it costs some processing power to have that second view. So I always opt to not use that, but instead create a texture of the map and then put the important parts in. So I've done that over here because this playing field is very big, but only a small portion of it is really actually used. I've created the map only of that part of the playing field where there is actually things you can visit and stuff. So, but therefore we need to exactly mark the borders of the map, so that we know where they correspond to in the real world. So therefore I created some borders with some 3D cubes and used them for a while to create the a picture, a screenshot of the map. And then I know, because of those cubes and their locations, I know the exact corners of the map in the world space. So then I've stylized that map a little bit, created it like a one color map, a little bit brownish, and put names on it where the actual cities are, and some other points of interest I also put on the map. And once that's finished, we can just display the map in the canvas. Over here you can see the canvas, and if I enable the panel map, you can see the map over here. It's just an image on the background, and on top of it I rendered some interesting things like locations of missions and the player's current location. So over here is a script called UI. It has some properties like the texture that is used to display the missions positions, and this script will just render them onto the map. As for the minimap, you don't see the minimap over here like an image because it's rendered from script. We take a look at the code. You can see it over here, update minimap. We use the draw texture to draw a frame on the GUI, and we use this function to draw a part of the texture, because the minimap is just a small part of the real map and it continuously moves along with the player, his position. So the only way to do that is using this method, and you can't use the image, because the image will only use the full image and not a section of the image. If you want to display a section of a texture, you would maybe need to write your own shader or something, but I found this way is also working. And then for the player, his location, we show that with an arrow. We also want to show the direction the player is currently moving in, because that's very important, because our map doesn't rotate like the original Redemption map does. So we need to have an arrow that's pointing in the direction the player is currently looking at, so that he knows in which direction he will walk if he walks on the map, and he can walk to certain points on the map. And over here you can see how we do that. We set up a GUI rotation, and then we do rotate around pivot, which actually rotates the whole GUI, and then we draw a texture on there on the rotated GUI, and then we rotate it back to the original position. So that way this part is rotated, and the whole texture with the map on it is just put back into the original position. So yeah, that's about it for the minimap and the map. I also created signs with the names of the places that you can visit. First I used text mesh for that, but you can see that when using text mesh, it just renders sprites and they stay alight at night, and I think that doesn't look very natural. So later on I created some images that I used on textures to make it just use the lit shader of the HDRP. The funny thing about creating games is that you sometimes run into really funny situations. Like for example, this horse that really exploded. I still don't know the reason for that actually, but it's already solved apparently. For the interior of this saloon, I found this free asset on Sketchfab. It's just a complete saloon setting. I needed to scale it. You can see over here that it's a little bit smaller than my saloon, and I actually scaled and took all the parts out of it that I liked and put him inside my building. I also added some lighting, of course, because without lights your interior will be really dark. And also we need, of course, colliders on the sides of the mesh, so that you cannot run through the walls. Unfortunately, I couldn't remove this door, otherwise I would have done so, but it's part of the model, so I can't really separate it anymore at the moment, unless you use a program like Blender. But I didn't go that far for my current activities on creating this game. So another thing to notice is that previously you couldn't walk up these stairs. Now you can, because there is an invisible part over here that you just saw. I'll try to see if I can find it. So it's the hotel, it's over here, it's a collider, but this mesh render is disabled, so you don't see it, but it still works as a collider. So that way you can just walk up this part, because this first person controller is able to walk up to angles. I have set that to be like 80, so you can go very steep, so that's no problem, and it still gives the suggestion that you run up a stair, although you don't step on any individual step over here. But yeah, it looks nice. This oasis has a different water volume than this one. You can see that it's this type of water is of course very different from the rough water that's on the oceans. And if we take a look at the shark, we can see that there's a script connected to it. It's very simple. We make it rotate, and we make it also look forward and rotate it around an angle and keep looking forward, so it actually makes a circle, and its position just goes a bit up and down. And also these cows, they had already animation on them. That's really nice, but because they all these animations start at the same time, it looks a little bit stupid if they all nod their head at exactly the same time. That's not very natural. So therefore I've created a small script to create a random delay in the beginning, and only after that delay has passed we will just start the animation. And there's also a small animation added to the windmill. Fortunately, this part of the windmill was a separate mesh, so we could just put a script on it. Actually, I put the script over here, but I refer to those wings, and then I make them rotate. Very simple, but just gives a little extra touch of reality. If you take a look at the lights, they also contain a script to make them flicker, but also all the lights are organized in this game object over here. And I have a script running that when the night time starts to go in, we will just iterate over all these lights and turn them out. So turn them on when it's getting night, and turn them out again when it's getting morning. This plays some lot effect when a character is hit. I got this particle system. It's a very simple system I created. It's shooting out particles from a cone. You can see the material over here, and yeah, that one is just located at the point that the enemy has been hit, and then it's just played once. If we take a look at the NPC, they can now fire back, and actually they fire at will, at random. We have aggressive players and non-aggressive players who don't fire. We also determine if they are aggressive at random, and once they hit once they shoot, they if they hit the player, that's just decided as random as well. So very simple, but just like in reality, sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, and we can't see the bullet flying that fast, so we don't really need to create all that logic to make the simulation for that. But we just decide at random if the player is hit, and if he is hit, we also display that that blood particle effect on the player. And for the mission, you can see I created some folder over here, and added the scripts for the missions. We got 2 missions over here, the mission for the bank and the mission for the biscuits, and they also contain some properties. Like for the mission of biscuit, he has some destinations for patrolling where the where those gang members will patrol. So they will run from this place to this place, for example. And yeah, to be able to easily set them, I created them like game objects over here, and then I put those inside the properties of this mission script. And this game has references to those 2 scripts over here. So the game script actually keeps track of all the missions that there are and if they are already finished or not. And he also takes care of displaying a text for the mission if that needs to be displayed. If you take a look at the code for the mission, you can see that we have a general part over here where we set things like the bronze, gold or silver medal once you've finished the mission. That's the same for all missions, except this time, of course. The time it takes to get the gold medal, it depends on the mission. But in general, we need to set the text and stuff and change the image of the medal. So that's all done over there in general code for the missions. And the specific code, for example, for the biscuit mission is over here. It's been inherited from mission. So it's been subclassed from mission, and we can see that inside here you have specific code, like when you start a mission, the biscuit mission, we need to create the biscuit gang members. So that's done over here. And these functions, they override the original start function, but they call the base start function. So this code is also run when you create this mission of biscuit class. Yeah, so if you take a look at the UI, you can see over here that let's go to the canvas, that this part is displayed. This is enabled when the mission is completed, and yeah, that this mission time is changed, of course. As soon as you finish a mission, the proper time is displayed. And over here you can see the mission text that's been set by the game script. And finally, the recreation of this bug. We have this tent over here. It also has a script on it, and this just simulates the bug that was there in the real Red Dead Redemption. If you hit this tent multiple times, this tent's position just starts to shake, makes the tent shake. And finally, if you hit it more than 5 times, the player will explode. He will just fly into the sky because this value is very high. It will be a big explosion, and he will fly up very high in the sky, just like in the bug that's in Red Dead Redemption. Okay, that's it for today, guys. If you want to use something from the game in your own projects, the full source code of this game can be downloaded with the link in the description. Only the models and some large assets are excluded because they were too big. Have a great summer holiday and see you in the next video.